Breaking news! There's been a lot of talk recently about the team's leadership, but there are also some serious questions surrounding the players. So without further ado, let's get right to it. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a breaking news update on our Atlanta Falcons. Let's get to it. Former #1 pick Alex Smith didn't hold back during ESPN's Sunday NFL Countdown, calling out the Falcons front office for what he described as an organizational disaster. Smith, a 16-year NFL veteran and 3-time Pro Bowler, raised serious concerns about how Atlanta handled the quarterback position this season, particularly the decisions involving Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix Jr. Smith questioned the massive $180 million contract given to Cousins in the offseason, followed by the spending of a top 10 pick on a quarterback just a few months later. According to Smith, this sequence of moves has left the team stuck between two quarterbacks with no clear direction. His words were harsh. "You paid Kirk Cousins $90 million guaranteed, then you drafted his replacement, and after 14 games you changed your mind." He didn't stop there. Smith pointed out that Penix, while talented, was thrown into a tough spot without proper development. The rookie was thrust into a division race late in the season with zero margin for error. Smith noted how Penix dropped 10 to 12 passes against Washington, singling out the lack of preparation as a major issue, saying, "It was unfair to put that pressure on the kid in the middle of a playoff race." Now, let's break this down a bit further. Smith's criticism isn't just about the money. The Falcons paid Cousins $90 million guaranteed for 14 games. His salary cap hit next season is $40 million, and the team is looking at $65 million in dead money over the next 2 years. That kind of financial strain has ripple effects. That limits how much Atlanta can invest in defense, which, let's be honest, hasn't been good enough to pull off a win-now strategy. Smith went even further, drawing comparisons to the Minnesota Vikings, who found themselves in a similar position last offseason. The Vikings let Cousins walk, drafted J.J. McCarthy at number 10, signed Sam Darnold as a bridge quarterback for just $10 million and reinvested heavily in defense with signings like Jonathan Greenard, Blake Cashman, and Andrew Van Ginkel. That's how you build a complete team. Meanwhile, Atlanta paid top dollar for Cousins, got just one extra win, lost a 5th-round pick to tampering, and now has limited resources to build around its young quarterback. Now, to be fair, the Falcons seem to have a plan, win now with Cousins while grooming Penix for the future. But Smith argues that it was flawed from the start. If you're going to draft a top 10 quarterback, you have to be committed to developing him fully. The defense wasn't strong enough for a win-now approach, and the results speak for themselves, a 2-6 record after Penix took over. But here's the silver lining. If Penix really is the future, and he continues to develop, drafting a rookie quarterback can mask a lot of front office mistakes. That $65 million in dead money still stings, but young QBs on rookie deals give you financial flexibility if the right decisions are made going forward. So now it's your turn, Falcons fans. Was Alex Smith right? Did the Falcons mishandle the quarterback situation, or do you think they had a plan that just didn't work out this year? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. The Falcons already have one of the most loaded offenses on paper heading into next season, with Darnell Mooney's contract making him among the second highest paid receivers in the league, and weapons like Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Tyler Allgeier, and Bijan Robinson all guaranteed. Michael Penix Jr. is poised with plenty of talent. But can the Falcons still find a way to add even more firepower? The team could explore adding more speed and depth at wide receiver, though most believe the priority should be clearing cap space to help the defense. Now, let's talk dream scenarios. Imagine if Atlanta took a bold, all-star approach and targeted some of the biggest names on the market. Let's look at 3 insane possibilities and how they could transform this already electric offense. First up, Tyreek Hill. The speedster is reportedly unhappy in Miami after securing a big contract but lacking consistent playoff success. He's expressed frustration with the Dolphins and may be looking for an exit. Could Atlanta be the next stop for the elite playmaker? Realistically, Kirk Cousins' blowout makes such a move nearly impossible, but imagine Hill lining up alongside Mooney, London, Robinson, and Pitts. Their speed and playmaking ability would make this offense nearly unstoppable. Hill still possesses the game-winning speed that defined his Chiefs days, and combining that with Penix's deep ball accuracy could create magic. Sure, paying Hill's contract would mean serious sacrifices elsewhere, likely forcing the team to rely on bargain signings and draft picks to fix the defense. But it's fun to dream, right? Next, let's talk about Stephon Diggs. Diggs' future with Buffalo seems shaky, and he's been a polarizing figure with the way things have played out in Minnesota and now with the Bills. His recent injury could lower his market value, which opens the door for a creative move by the Falcons. Could Atlanta convince Diggs to accept a one-year, incentive-laden deal to prove his worth and seek a bigger payday next offseason? If healthy, Diggs could still be a lethal route runner and red zone threat, and giving Penix another reliable target would take this offense from dangerous to downright lethal. But then again, financial realities could force Atlanta to pass, especially with bigger needs on defense. And finally, there's Deebo Samuel. The 49ers may not admit it, but the signs point to a potential rebuild, and Samuel could be a name on the move. With just 1 year left on his deal, he could be available, but the challenge would be whether Atlanta could afford him long-term with players like London, Robinson, and Penix all needing extensions in the near future. As a one-season rental, though, it's intriguing. Deebo brings a unique physicality and versatility that could take pressure off Penix while complementing the existing weapons perfectly. But given his injury history and cost, it seems more like a fantasy than a realistic move for Atlanta's front office. So where does that leave the Falcons? They already have an impressive core on offense, but adding any of these big-name stars would make Atlanta an instant Super Bowl contender if they can find a way to manage the cap. But let's not forget about the defense. The truth is, a strong defensive unit is just as important to a playoff run. The smarter move might be to focus on shoring up the defense, especially with so many starters already under contract on offense. What do you guys think? Should the Falcons go all in and pursue a superstar wide receiver or stay focused on fixing the defense? Let's talk about the offensive stability Atlanta has in 2025. Right now, the Falcons are in a rare position where nearly their entire starting offensive line is under contract for next season. The one exception? Veteran center Drew Dalman. His contract is up, and re-signing him would give the Falcons a chance to bring back their full 2024 offensive lineup. But here's the big question, will they? The main obstacle here is the money already invested in the offensive line. Caleb McGarry, Chris Lindstrom, and Jake Matthews are all locked into significant, player-friendly deals. And let's not forget left guard Matthew Bergeron, who will soon be up for a contract extension as well. So could the Falcons actually decide to move on from Dalman? It all comes down to how the front office values continuity versus salary cap flexibility. If Dalman's market price rises too high, the team may have no choice but to explore alternatives. Another factor that makes this decision more complex is how the team managed to get by without Dalman for a significant portion of the season due to injury. His replacement has excelled impressively, keeping the offense stable and raising the question, do the Falcons really need to invest a lot of money at center? Could they find a cheaper veteran or even target a young talent in the draft? No matter which direction they go, there's plenty of reason for optimism in Atlanta. Michael Penix Jr. has shown flashes of being the franchise quarterback of the future, and this offense is loaded with weapons. The focus now can shift to fixing the real weakness, rebuilding a defense that has struggled for years to find consistent pass pressure. Imagine how dangerous this team could be if they finally paired a capable defense with the offensive talent they already have. So, Falcons fans, what do you think? Should the team prioritize bringing back Dalman for offensive consistency, or would it be smarter to save cap space for the defense? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'm curious to hear where you stand. And hey, before you go, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more exclusive Falcons updates throughout the offseason. Let's rise together. Go Falcons!